When we return, the 5 smart home products you need to install right now to increase the value of your home. Great tips. Stay with us.
The Feed with Amber Mack and Michael B. For everything new, now, and next on Canada Talks, Sirius XM 167.
There is a new trend in real estate. Smart homes are rapidly becoming one of the fastest selling properties. Home and real estate expert Sabine H Schoenberg is here with the top 5 smart home features that will make homes more attractive to buyers. Hi, Sabine. This is very exciting. When did you start to see this trend emerge?
It's been many years, but quietly so. And I would say really in the upper end. The big shift now is that it's really masses. It's really there for the masses. It's there for all of us, for all consumers to take advantage of because the prices have come down. And frankly, our lifestyles have changed, so we really all are connected. We all carry phones. We are on computers daily, everywhere, on tablets. So it's a big change that is here to stay and going to expand from here.
I think a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to smart home technology, but thanks to the introduction of the Nest thermostat, that finally was almost the first device that really became mainstream. How comfortable do you think people are now with installing this technology in their homes?
It depends. Some people are more so than others, of course, but it is definitely coming because the other big change in technology is, and you're right, Nest was really a groundbreaking device. It's becoming simpler to install and simpler to connect everything. Technology used to be a big setup, and that's gone away. It's so much easier to do. So having a device like a smart thermostat, once you have it, I don't believe you're going to go back to it because you really start to see the benefits of energy savings and also much more comfort because it's a learning thermostat. It's really geared to your lifestyle.
And so how much of an increase in value can these, technology improvements around the house really help when you go to sell your house?
I think it's huge. It really starts with, and here's a little tip that I always use when I have buyers coming to a property. When they start to pull out their phones and start to check bars on the phone, I know I have a buyer who's interested. And so it starts really with very unsexy devices like a good internet connection. If you have a good internet connection, great. If you don't, invest in one of those boosting signals. Those are the things that make your home that much more interested to a buyer because let's face it, we all want to just have a smooth transition. So by the time you have your bed and your computer up and running, you feel like you've landed. Your move basically is done. You're there. You can operate. The rest are details. So from there, having a number of these smart devices only makes it that much more exciting.
You know, it's interesting because when we talk about smart home technology, there are so many different products that are available for the home. And there isn't really one common operating system, which I think people find kind of overwhelming. Are you finding in the market that now more than ever there are multiple devices that are working well with one another?
It's getting much, much better. There are now what I call the brain of the home. In the Greenwich house that I'm building, I'm using Crestron as a really great system that ties everything together. And you're right, this is a really important part. The more devices you have, you are going to get pretty quickly to a point where you say, how am I going to tie it all together? Another system is Wink. Again, it's a way to tie these devices together because here's the problem. If you just have 5 different devices, chances are you have 5 different apps that you control everything with, and that's complicated. We don't want complicated. We want simple. So at that point, it becomes simpler to invest into a home automation system that ties it all together conveniently.
What are some of the simple mistakes you've seen, first home buyers, not first home buyers, for actual first home sellers make that you think that they could easily kind of prevent from happening?
I already mentioned boosting the signal. That is a number one. Nobody wants to live where they're not in touch. If you have a job, you're expected to basically be in touch 24/7 these days. So boost your internet signal. That's a really, really big one not to overlook. And beyond that, if you have a Wi-Fi system set up in your house, those are the kinds of things that really shape your house into that, oh my God, this is easy, I can move right in there. So, and don't make it complicated for the buyer. Leave the Wi-Fi system behind, much like we used to put dining room chandeliers on the list of exclusions from the sale. Just make it easy. Let all this home automation gear be in place, make the buyer comfortable. These sort of little tricks, I think, will do a lot to make your house stand out as this is the one I got to buy.
This is a little cheeky for me now that we have you because you're so experienced in the real estate. I'm just wondering from a cosmetic perspective, not just from the technology that you've been talking about, but what are some simple things that people don't think about when they go to show their home and bring people into their home when they want to sell it?
I think it starts the moment you turn into the driveway or you're in front of the house. You really have to ask yourself, what am I showing to the world? What does my house look like? How do I present it? Are there garbage cans in front of my house? Well, move them somewhere else. Does it look organized? Does it look nice? Going back to smart devices, why not put a little smart doorbell on the front door? That says to a buyer right there, this is very interesting. They're not very expensive. They're less than $100, and yet they do really a great job. And so, clean up the whole front, the presentation. Selling a house is selling a story. It's the story, it's a lifestyle that you basically are selling. So what is it that you are selling? If you can answer that question, you will know who your buyer will be.
I think a lot of people think when it comes to smart homes that you have to build the home from scratch, that's the only way to do it properly. Do you think, in your experience, that it is possible to turn an older home into a smartphone without much effort?
It is possible. The smart doorbell is one really simple device. It's literally taking out the old doorbell and putting on the smart doorbell. That would be right there. I would start right there. Smart door locks are another very simple device. You just take out a lock and install a lock. And they have huge benefits because then you are in a position to give temporary access to a visitor or maybe a dog walker, or you have a babysitter coming in at a certain point. You have a lot of logistic help with these kinds of devices. So, yes, I would encourage anybody to think about retrofitting it into an existing house. Of course, new construction is great, but it doesn't have to be new construction.
And of course, we have to mention to people when they're installing things like this, they should remember to protect their privacy. And for people who want to check out all that you're doing, and it seems like you have a lot on the go, where can they go?
Sabine'sNewHouse.com. We have a lot of videos. We have a lot of information in terms of how all of the stuff takes and ties and how it's installed, some of the things to watch out for. You find it all on Sabine'sNewHouse.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.